ladies and gentlemen. My guest today is Jessiemma. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I am great. And so I noticed that one Christian blogger, Christian Vibes GH, when he was making the announcement about your debut single coming out on 24th February, he said in one of the writings that he put up, he said that lately people see Christian music to be, you know, formulaic, like it has a formula and highly and predictable, but you are an exception. That's what he said.
Oh, so that was written by a Step Forward in the UK.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So would you agree that Christian music today is predictable and formulaic?
In a way, somehow, it kind of feels like there's a lot of psychology applied to it, just so that things are repetitive. Because when things are repetitive, it's easy for people to sort of jump on the bandwagon. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really what it kind of feels like for a lot of people who, not saying that those songs aren't inspired by God, yeah, but it kind of feels like sometimes there needs to be more than the jam. There needs to be that message that is going to, like, you know, revive and stir up spirits and bring them closer to Jesus.
Right.
So I think that's really maybe where the difference lies. Mm.
So what makes you an exception then?
Well, personally, I'm a musical evangelist, and what I hope to achieve with this ministry is to draw more people to God, is to make sure that I become somewhat like the Billy Graham, but Billy Graham in music.
Yeah.
Just like I said before, to bring about a revival, to raise a generation that are bold and confident in, you know, standing up for the gospel, standing up for the truth, standing up for their faith, and not being like afraid and not compromising on their faith. And I think that's really what this journey is about.
Mm. You're from a family of worshippers. Briefly tell us about that.
So my father is a worship pastor, and my mother she also used to sing. She used to sing at, like, you know, Bonke crusades and stuff like that when she was much younger. Uh-huh. And they've just been very supportive, because I was very, very shy. I didn't want to sing at all, but my parents kept pushing and pushing. And, you know, my dad's always at the back of the church directing whenever I'm singing, and my mum's always just like, you know, encouraging me, praying with me, you know, sort of like impressing the word of God, you know, also into me, just to make sure that I become like this wholesome worshiper and not just sing just because your voice is nice. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So when exactly did you start singing?
Oh, my mum claims I started singing when I was 8 months old.
Okay.
I mean, as I said, I'm from a family of worshippers, so I was at every rehearsal, every play, whatever was happening, I was always there. Mm. And from a very young age, I'd have to be at all 3 services. So my mum said I'd be lost at the end of the day, and she couldn't find me because different people were just like looking after me at church. Okay. So yes, I've been singing since I was 8 months old. Mm-hmm. I believe I composed my first song when I was 8 years old.
Do you still remember it?
Yes, I do.
Okay, give us a line.
Okay, so it goes like this. My heart is broken into 2. One for Satan, one for you. But someone came along and made me whole again. His name is Jesus. Jesus. Jesus made me whole. Jesus made me new. Yes, so that's the
song. Right.
Yes.
Okay, so you started, so officially, I would say that this year is when you decided to come out officially and do music proper. But then prior to that, what was it exactly with you that you were doing?
Okay, so I've always been doing music in church and everything, but my background is in public health. Okay. So I actually am working towards setting up a maternal health charity here in Ghana. Nice. That's going to support women and help reduce maternal mortality, morbidity rates, infant mortality rates. Mm-hmm. So that's one of my passions. I also have a preschool called the Maverick School.
Here in Ghana?
Yes, it's at Ajingano. And I called it the Maverick School because I wanted to raise a group of children that will be set apart, especially in this turbulent, time that we live in our world. So those are the two things. I've also been into charity work, where I worked with women with multiple and complex needs, women who were at risk of sexual exploitation, domestic violence, drug abuse, homelessness, mental health issues, and so on and so forth. So that's really what I've been doing. So
the desire to do all this, is it something that maybe in your past you experienced something like that? Or it's just a desire that you just wanted to help women and children?
I actually studied in Spain for a year. So once I was doing that, I was actually, I took this international relations course, and I studied, I read this book called Women Hold Up Half the Sky. So I always knew that I was going to do something related to health, but it was about just sort of narrowing it down to what I really wanted to focus on. But after reading that book, I came to understand that there's a lot that we can do on the ground at the grassroots level. And you would think that, okay, we live in Accra, it's like, a big city, there are not a lot of problems. But I remember watching this news clip where there were women lined up in a row, and they were all just waiting for one bed to go and have their baby, and they were all going through active labor. And it was so distressing. I was like, oh my gosh, something needs to be done. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's like the other side of me.
That's the other side of you.
Yeah.
But one main side is you being a gospel musician. That's the main side.
I'm not a gospel musician.
Okay.
So I know a lot of people have been asking me, when your music career has started. This is not a career for me. This is my ministry.
It's your ministry.
It's my ministry. It's not a career. This is not what I'm using.
So you don't want to be called a gospel musician?
I don't mind being called a gospel musician, but I just want to make it clear that it's not my career, or it's not a career for me. This is more than just, trying to churn out music. It's
so how would you want people to identify you?
A musical evangelist.
Okay. Okay, music evangelist. That's great. So we are going to get on to Amazing Grace and how you came about that. But then before we do so, viewers, I want to say a big thank you to Nutri Snacks for sponsoring Prime Morning. And so if you would love to snack on anything great, anything healthy, anything delicious, get you some Nutri Snacks Oats Digestive. Yes, they're here for you. Like I always say, anytime I'm talking about Nutri Snacks, if you're on a diet and you still want to enjoy something delicious, Nutri Snacks is here for you. So make sure that you get yourself some Nutri Snacks Oats Digestive. Now let's come back to you, Jessiemma. Amazing Grace. How did you come by that?
So I wrote Amazing Grace because I was experiencing an overwhelming sense of love from God.
Okay.
That I wrote this song in 2013. It was quite a difficult year for me, but God brought me through such a turbulent time. And on the day it was written, I was just filled with so much gratitude, so much love, so much peace, so much awe, And so then writing the verses, it kind of just rolled off my tongue. And then in sort of like speaking about his grace, God's grace is, it's in different facets,
right.
It's love, it's peace, it's favor, it's kindness. And I experienced all of that. I was just like, it's just by his grace that I'd, been able to make it this far.
Yeah.
And we can also experience, two different sides of this song. First, from that point of his love, but also for people who have been on a journey where maybe they went away from their first love, but then when they came back and then they reminisce on everything that they've been through, they're just like, oh my gosh, like I was a wretch, but you still loved me.
You still loved me.
You still
accepted me.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm sure when you listen to the song, it gets to the point where I was just like, I was a wretch, because I know that there have been moments like that where we've all felt that way, where we felt like we didn't deserve his love or his grace. But he's still like, accepts us. And Amazing Grace is really just about, you know, the love of God that is just nestled in his grace.
Right. So it came out on Friday, 24th February. So Amazing Grace by Jessiemma is officially out on all digital platforms. Where exactly can we get them?
You can find it on Spotify, Apple Music, on Boomplay, on YouTube, on Deezer, everywhere.
Okay, so before we wrap up with you, Jessiemma, so we want to wish a happy birthday to a couple of people, to a couple of our viewers. And so happy birthday to Daniel Kofi Opoku, Bamful of Christ Apostolic Church International Pig Farm Assembly. This is from Paul Minta. Okay, we have some more. Belated happy birthday to Reginald Okla, Senior Manager Business Growth, and Romeo Aja, Corporate Affairs Manager, both of Imperial General Assurance. May God bless you both. From everyone at Imperial General Assurance. We have another one. Happy 60th birthday to Mr. George Amufa of Ebru New Road. We love and appreciate you for your leadership and support throughout these years. On this day, we wish you good health and long life from your wife, Mrs. Janet Amofa, and the entire family. So happy birthday to you all. Okay, so this is an appreciation post, and it says, when we called, you showed up. Thank you for your support during the church fundraising and the birthday of Mama Tina, Mama Augustina. And so she's saying thank you to everyone who celebrated her and supported the fundraising. And so happy birthday to every single one celebrating their birthdays this month. Jessiemma, before you go, final remarks that you want to put out there.
I hope you all enjoy the song. I hope you're blessed by it. Please go and stream it and download it into your spirit.
Into your spirit, okay.
And yes, just go on that journey, that wholesome journey with God, because at the end of the day, finding God is gives you a sense of love, peace, joy, and you can't keep that to yourself.
Right. So, okay. Thank you very much, Jessiemma.
Thank you for having
We're
me.
definitely going to stream your song on all digital platforms. Viewers, and so this is where we end Prime Morning right here on Joy Prime TV. My name is Jessiemma. I didn't do this alone. KMJ was here and Rosalind Felly as well. Make sure to join us tomorrow at exactly 6 a.m. Have a lovely day.